I don't even know where to start with this one. Hey guys, it's my equestrian journey, and I'm here to talk about a very controversial topic, which I know for not being here for so long, I've been gone for a while, which those of you who are subscribed to me probably have noticed. But yeah, so for the first video from being back in almost 5-6 months, yeah, this is gonna get interesting. So I'm just gonna get right into the video because I know it's probably gonna be a long one, but let's get right into it. So today's video I'm going to be talking about starting horses young and the deal with old horses. So, oh gosh, this is quite difficult to talk about because I don't want to offend anyone when I say this. This is just honestly my personal opinion. And obviously everyone is going to have their own opinion when it comes to starting horses and what age you should start them, but I'm just going to say my personal opinion. Sorry, I'm going to scoot up a little bit because I was uncomfortable. But I'm just going to talk about my personal opinion about this whole starting horses thing, and I know everyone's going to have their own, so this is just mine. If you have a different opinion, great. I'm just sharing what I think about this whole situation. So, basically, a lot of people like to say, oh, start your horse young, or we actually have a 5-year-old, almost 6, she's turning 6 in September, and we haven't started training her, she's halter trained and she's got a whole bunch of stuff done with her on the ground, she's desensitized from certain things. We just haven't started riding her yet, we haven't even gotten her trained to be ridden yet, and honestly, we've had so many people coming up to us and telling us, oh, you know what, she's like, this is also back a while ago when she was 2, they're like, oh, she's 2, you need to start getting her trained, and we're like, she's only 2, she's still growing, like, we don't need to get her trained, we've just had so many people tell us that she needs to get trained, like, to be started under saddle and everything, and honestly, I think personally that horses, like young horses, obviously they're still growing, and every horse grows differently, every horse stops growing at a certain different times than other horses, and it also really depends on what you want to do with the horse. Now, it's one thing if you want to start the horse if the horse is ready for it, get it checked by vets and everything, and if the vet gives the okay, then go ahead, start them at 3. But honestly, I think horses that are started at 3, if the vet gives the okay, you should start small. So just start walking and maybe trotting a little bit and just taking your time with it. Like, you don't have to rush into training a horse. And a lot of people, I see this a lot I don't rein personally, but I do see this a lot. Like, I used to ride Western, just a little bit, not much, but I do see it a lot online, and a lot of people are reining, like doing sliding stops, like from a full gallop, sliding stops on these 2-year-olds. Like, sure, if their back, I highly doubt this 2-year-old's back has already finished fusing together and everything, but just think of the damage it does to this horse's legs in the long run. Like, a lot, like, even the same thing with race horses, like, it damages the horse's legs. And I think a lot of, even jumping, I don't think you should be jumping a horse at 2, 3, 4, even 5. And I've talked to a lot of horse trainers that I have here in the area. I'm personally not a horse trainer, so sorry, I'm not a horse trainer, but I have talked to horse trainers, and a few of my past coaches have been horse trainers and have trained horses, and I even talked to them, and they say that if somebody is starting a horse under saddle, they make sure that the horse is ready for it. Like, the spine, everything, all the bones are fused together properly, and that the horse is done growing, that the horse is ready to have someone on his or her back. And even when the horse is ready, they just start off small. They do a lot of just getting the horse turning and, just a lot of walk, trot, canter, but they don't start actually jumping the horse until they're around 6 or 7. And when I say they don't start jumping the horse, I don't mean like 5 foot oxers or anything like that. They start off really small with these horses. And I see this a lot. I'm not bashing Western, don't get me wrong. You see it more in the Western world where horses will get started at 2 years old, and by the time they're 12 you can't do anything with them, and because they're just lame, because they've had injuries, like whether it be most common injuries are the ones in the legs, because they just get worked just way too young, and then their tendons and like just ugh. I'm sorry, but this topic just gets me really, not, I don't want to say angry, it's more frustrated, because a lot of people, when you say, oh yeah, I have like a 26-year-old horse or whatever, there's a horse at my barn right now, I believe he's 24, and this horse is still jumping 4 foot plus because he can, like, he's not injured anywhere. And it's just a lot of, like I said, a lot of it's more seen in the Western world, where horses, like I said, are started at 2, and you by 12 you can't even ride them anymore, or you can't, it's very light riding, if that, because their legs or some part of their body is just injured, and like permanently, because they were started so young and were expected to do these crazy things with their bodies when their bodies were still developing. And so it's just sad to see that horses, when they're at their prime, like I said, 12 to, like, to me, a horse in his prime is between 12 to like 17, 18, maybe even 19. And it's just sad to see a horse in their prime being either A, put down, or B, locked up in a stall, or C, just like going through so many medical procedures because they were started so young and their bodies just couldn't keep up with it. And in Europe, I see this a lot in Europe. Well, not the whole starting young issue, but I see it a lot in Europe, where if you watch show jumping, I know in Europe they do show jumping and dressage on national television. You can turn to like the sports station and they'll have it on. And some of those horses jumping are like 26. I think the oldest one I saw was 27, show jumping, like Grand Prix level. And I think that's awesome, because these horses are still able to do it because they weren't started so young. They were given time to have their bodies grow and develop. And these horses, like, yes, sure, you might have to wait longer to be able to jump your horse Grand Prix level, but honestly, I think that if you wait for your horse to be trained, like to do extensive work, then you'll definitely be able to have not only a better riding horse, because not only will they be physically, but they'll also be mentally sound enough to do it, the job that you're asking them to do. And they'll just, I don't know. Basically what I'm trying to say is, if you start a horse at 2 and you do reining, or even start your horse jumping at 2 or whatever, there's a good chance the horse is gonna get injured before they even reach like 15. They'll probably be injured and stop working by 12 or 13. And honestly, I think if you start a horse at the age that they can be started at, like with the vet's permission, getting them checked by vets and everything, and even then, just taking it slow, you'll honestly have the horse longer when it comes to riding than if you were to start the horse young. And I know, and I don't want to bash on the United States. I live in the United States. I don't want to bash on the United States or anything, but in the United States, we do see a lot more of people starting their horses too young, because they have this idea in their heads that, oh yeah, starting them young, we can show how great of trainers we are, blah, blah, blah. And the horse, like, it doesn't hurt the horse, whatever. And honestly, me personally, I grew up in Europe. I very much believe that horses, like, shouldn't be started at 2, honestly. And people should honestly wait to train their horses, or get them started under saddle until the horse is physically able to be started under saddle. And yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking now because I could honestly go on forever about this topic, and I'm pretty sure even with this video I didn't completely express how I feel about it, because I still feel a lot more. There's so much more I want to talk about, but I honestly don't want it to be like a 20-minute video. So I'm just gonna stop talking here before I offend anyone and before this video becomes like a 20-minute video. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. If you guys have your own opinions, that's great. Like I said, this is just my opinion, and yeah, so hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon again. I know I haven't been doing this much, but thanks for watching, guys. Bye!